Girlfriends, it's Nico. Today is Wednesday, September 19th, I think. And this is the weekly update. As you can probably tell, I'm not very excited. The last 7 days have been really hard. Sucks. My senior kitten, my senior girl, Zentaur, crossed the Rainbow Bridge exactly 1 week ago. It was in the early morning, like 6 something a.m. I made a post on Facebook very shortly after it happened. And I haven't been sleeping well for 7 days. I really haven't been sleeping well. It's hard to get to sleep. She used to always sleep with me in my bed, on my pillow mostly. Jeez, stop slipping and sliding. Making it difficult. Sorry. And I haven't been able to go to sleep. My mind is just wandering and doing its stupid mind, overthinking, stress stuff. Let me try and set you up on the tripod. So I have not been sleeping well. I have gotten some sleep, but that's because exhaustion takes over and I end up passing out for a couple of hours, and it's never restful. So I'm dealing with her loss really hard. We got her during the 4 hurricanes that hit Florida 19 years ago. Can't believe it's been 19 years. It's crazy it's been that long. But she was in my best friend. She was found by neighbors who were taking a walk while the eye of one of the storms was passing us, and they heard a cat meowing. They knew we had cats. They thought maybe one of our cats had gotten out, and it had not. It just happens to have been tiny little Zentaur. Oh my goodness. You are gonna work today. I don't need something else being a pain in the butt. I already have enough pains in the butts. Holy crap. There we go. So my best friend opened his car, the hood of his car, and there's a tiny mewing kitten in there. Tiny. Really teeny tiny. She was smaller than a teacup saucer. She was like half the size of a teacup saucer. And my roommate that we had moved in with so he could keep his place, he's like, can we keep her? And my husband and I were just like, oh my god. We already had 2 cats. Yes, we already had 2 cats, and he had a cat, and they didn't get his cat didn't get along with our 2 cats, but they lived in their own world. They avoided each other, which was, unless they were hunting, they hunted together. It was fine, and we were just like, okay. And she ended up not really liking him very much. And honestly, like, we stayed with him for a year, and in that year she really grew to love us because we didn't smother her and try to keep her held all the time, and she felt safer with us. And when we were moving out into our own place again, he moved out first, and I was worried that he was gonna take her. I was so worried he was gonna take her. So the day he was moving out, I got up super early in the morning, and I grabbed her and I pulled her in our bedroom with our other 2 cats and the litter box. And I made sure that we were all together, and luckily he didn't come knocking on the door to ask to take her, because I would have totally said no. She was she had been our kitty forever. She's just a quiet little cat who liked what she liked. She liked being in the rooms with us when we were in our own places. Since we've lived here and there are other people here, She was just a bedroom cat. Hi, babes. Hi. She's just a bedroom cat. She was very happy there. Oh. And she declined. She was 19. She was 19 this spring, and you still have not paid for that. You're gonna have to work really hard on Only Paws. It's such a cutie. His head's upside down getting rubbed. But she was doing okay. Like she was okay. She was waking us up in the morning because she had special breakfast food, and she always greeted us when we came into the bedroom at night, demanding her dinner, which was wet food. And she would, because she wasn't eating dry food very much, but she would eat a couple pieces of dry food. She had special soft treats that we got her. I mean, as soon as we realized like she had a hard time eating, which was probably a year ago, she wasn't chewing her food properly and stuff was falling out of her mouth. We just transitioned her to soft food, and everybody else gets soft food too. We did the same for Squee and our other cats who we have lost to old age. But, and I'm sorry, I know I'm rambling, but she was doing okay one week. Like, she was normal for her seniority, and then last week she'd still walk, but she would walk and then she'd just just floop right, lay down on the bed. Not even happily lay down, it was just like a collapse in a lay down position. But she'd walk like 4 steps and go down, and we knew that she was declining, but she was still eating. She was still insisting on climbing on and off the bed by herself. She still refused to use the steps until the last couple of days. She was okay, and we were assessing to see if she was in pain or not, and honestly she was doing much better than Squee was in his decline. Squee's decline was very, very, very slow, but her decline was very fast. And Kevin came home at like 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. I was done with work. Sorry, 3:30 in the morning, I was done with work. And part of me really wanted to go upstairs and check on her. The other part of me got really, really scared, and I didn't, and I waited for Kevin to come home. I had him swing by McDonald's and pick up breakfast. And I got like the steak, egg, and cheese bagel, because every time I had it, she really wanted some. And I was just gonna give her a piece. I've never let her have it because it has onions on it, but I was gonna make sure like there was no onions on her bite that she had. And I went up in the bedroom while I was on the phone with him talking while he was ordering, and she wasn't anywhere to be found on the bed. On our beds. We have 2 beds pushed together, and I didn't see her under the bed. Ryan and Lily had come in the room, and they're just like, "Where's our food?" And I'm just like, "Where's Zentara?" And eventually I sat on my bed, and I'm like, I can't find her, and I'm talking to Kevin this entire time, and she meowed and she cried out, and I was just like, oh my god. So I can't really get on the floor very well, but I cleared off some space, and I sat down, and I leaned over very, very far, and she was just, luckily she was in the front of the bed, but she was in the corner by the wall, and I couldn't reach her. Where she was, I just couldn't really reach her. I could touch her, but that was it. And she knew I was there, and I was like, oh my god, you have to come home. And he was obviously on his way home driving, but she wasn't really making any noise. So Kevin came home, and he's like, she's dying. I'm like, I know that. And he asked me what I wanted to do, because I think we were both at a loss, and I had him get her out from under the bed, and we put her on top of the bed and wrapped her in a towel, and we were there for her. We were there for her for when she crossed. I could definitely tell when her soul left her body, And I told Kevin that she has gone, and then we were just waiting for her body to go. And it sucked. There's no other word for it. It completely sucked, and it was horrible. But we were there, and I realized a lot of things. I realized why vets do things a certain way because of how traumatic natural death can be on a body, no matter what species, person or animal. I've never experienced that, but I did that day. Kevin had experienced it once when he was younger with a kitten. And everything else that I've ever experienced with pets passing has been more peaceful. Like they literally had fallen asleep and took a last breath. We were there with her body while it was shutting down. And then we brought her downstairs and Kevin grabbed a toy. Even though she never played with toys, she never, it's so dumb, she never played with toys. We tried to get her to play with toys when she was a kitten, but Squee was much younger then, and he always took over the toys and she would just back up. And then when Squee was like a little bit old, like we always tried to get her to play, but she never, there was always somebody there. And then when Squee was a little less interested in any toy that we had, he only liked certain ones. We had Ivory, who was younger, and he was the kitten. He wanted all the toys, and she never played. Like, she would take a toy every once in a while, and maybe like bad at it. That was it. It wasn't play. But Kevin picked out a toy for her, so she'd always have a toy to play with, uninterrupted. And he picked out a spot in the yard, and we buried her. And it's a very lovely spot. Luckily, it's not in the backyard, so we don't see it every time we use the bathroom, because the bathroom window looks out to the back. It's on the side of the yard, and it's beautiful. We're gonna get some pavies. Right now, there is Dad Carter's bird fountain we put on top of it. And we're gonna get some paving stones to put around it, so it sucks. But she was 19, she chose us, and we gave her everything that we could, and all the love that we could, so Orion's still here. I'm very blessed. We feel very blessed that she was our baby for so long. And I literally just haven't been sleeping. Like I said, exhaustion has just taken over and I've had naps. So, last night, I think it's the first night I slept for 8 hours straight. But I did I took an anxiety pill and 3 Tylenol PMs to assist in that. And I woke up at 10 something today. I went to bed early for me last night. But I woke up at 10:30 today, and fortunately the house cleaners had come, and I was awake till probably about 1:30 before I fell asleep again. But it's just been very hard. I've been very depressed, very sad. And Kevin and I have talked a lot about it. He's always been like, you just talk to me whatever you need. And I have. I've taken a lot of advantage of that. And I'm more at peace with her passing. I really, really am, but she's my baby. I mean, they're all my babies, but everybody has their role, their little kitty role. And after Ebony passed, she took over sleeping with me in bed. Because Ebony always at least slept with me or laid down with me until I fell asleep. And then after Ebony passed in Florida in Homosassa, where she's put to rest, Zentar took over that. And it was either laying on my pillow or next to me, usually on my pillow because she doesn't like being held. And Orion will occasionally sleep between Kevin, like he'll choose between Kevin and me to sleep, or he'll lay today, like when the strange cleaning ladies. Yes, smell my lips. When the strange cleaning ladies were here, he was laying on the pillow between us, but he doesn't, that's my throat. He doesn't sleep consistently with me. I mean, even if he just stayed with me until I fell asleep, it would be okay. Sometimes he does, but he usually ends up sleeping on me while I'm already asleep, and it's just different than falling asleep with the cat. So the past 7 days have been hard. Very hard. It's very heartbreaking. It sucks when you don't have sleep, so I can't, it just affects everything. But I did have an adoption. I had a double event in both the Elven Grove and Badass Designers Coven. I did magic potion bottles, which I had never done before, and they turned out very pretty. Let me get the light so you can see. I will swirl a couple. This one's called Mermaid Tears. It is blue. The camera's not really pointing the right way, but it has like a white swirl around it. It is very pretty. I'm sorry, it's like a purpley swirl with the blue. Yeah, Mermaid Tears is a purple swirl. But I had a couple of these. This is Vampire's Kiss. Anyway, some of those are going to be listed on my website, and the ones that were adopted will be shipped out. I'm going to do shipping tonight. This is Ectoplasm, little spoopy ghost. So yeah, it's just been hard. But I had a lot of fun making the potions. I actually ran out of one of my potion ingredients. And what? I don't remember what this is called. Nope, not that one. I haven't put its label on. I have its label right here. Let's me get the label. There we go. Of course, it's on the bottom. This is called Live Beyond Fear. It has Kraken on it. And this is a deep oceany water, and it is a white with yellow shimmer, and there are pearls on the bottom. So I just filled this up before I started to film. Like, it was only filled about halfway. This is very pretty. It's not even all mixed in. Mix in! Full effect. It's so pretty. And I learned a lot about the first version of the magic potions I've done. It is something I've wanted to do for a couple years. And I did it this year. So this looks like a very small label to be on there. But that's the label that I have for it at the moment. I might actually scan that or take a picture of it and try to print a bigger one. I'm not sure. So, thank you for everybody who's adopted. I'm sorry, I'm very scatterbrained. I will get everything sent out. I have a couple of magic potion necklaces. They all swirl. They all have swirls into them. Some of them will be listed on the website. Some of them got adopted. So I really got to get on the ball and list the oh my gourd things that are still available, and now magic potion bottles. I will tell you, it is very difficult to get good pictures while it's swirling because it settles. And of course, this is my first round of doing it. I now know a better ratio. That's the word. A better ratio of some of the potion items to make it swirl longer. So, but it does have a very nice swirl. I have an itch on my back that I've had for days, and it's just irritating. So I'm sorry about that. I don't actually know if I'm going to have an adoption this week. I am not going to be doing, or if I am, it's going to be, actually, I'm going to list some of my, no, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be participating in the Badass Designers Coven this weekend. It's a free, so it's theme free, so you just list what you want to list. Not sure if I'm going to do that. I might just use some of the things I've made in the Grove the past couple of weeks and list it in there. But I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. So I don't know if I'm going to have an adoption in the Grove. I don't know what's going to happen. I just don't. I don't know how I am mentally. I do know, I mean, I kind of know, I'm blah. I do know though that I have, you can't really see it from there, teeny tiny potion bottles. Look at that ectoplasm. I want these to be the thank you charms for the month. Oh, they're so pretty. I think that means I'm going to write out, I'm going to separate them into, that one changes color, that one's fun. That was yellow and it changed to green. That's so pretty. I think these are going to be the thank you charms. I really have to, that's, brother-in-law came home. Give me a second. Hey, Dave. This is a fail. And the pigment does not mix in very well with this. It's very frustrating. Some of the pigments I have don't mix, they just sit on top. But these I want to be my thank you charms. And I think I'm just going to turn them upside down in here and see to make sure I sealed them properly. I think I did. And then of course I have to put the little bits in the top. But I poured, when I was making the potions, I made them I thought the back door was open for some reason. When I was making the potions, I had a bit of extra in for every color, so I poured them into the tiny bottles. They're very pretty. They really are. The swirl is just, oh, it's so much better in person. So I'm pretty sure magic potions are going to be thank you charms for this month, which gives me an excuse to go get some more bottles and to make more of the mixture. I'm just like, wow, total brain fart. And to make more of the mixture. So that is, I think that's all I have. I had a supply, I got some supplies in last week. I'm getting supplies in tomorrow. I have not been posting my supply hauls from Temu yet. I need to get on the ball. Honestly, dealing with so many different social media apps is so, and I know I mentioned this before, but it's so exhausting for me. It really is. So I have, like, on Facebook, my Elvenspun page itself, not the Grove, not the group page, but on Elvenspun page, it's linked to Instagram and vice versa. So whenever I post on that, or I post to Instagram, it posts on the other app. It's an extra step for TikTok to post on TikTok, and then it's just a couple extra button clicks, but honestly, sometimes by the time I get done editing a video, I'm done, and I don't always share it right away. But I can share my TikTok to Instagram, which will then share it to Facebook, which is very convenient. But there's also another app that I have, and I've only posted a handful of times. It's relatively new. I have no idea what it's called off the top of my head, but it's not Twitter. That's a much older app, but it's a relatively new app that I'm on, and I want to post to. I've been offered to be able to sell on the TikTok shop, and I started my application, but I have to upload my personal information, which is fine. I mean, I know they already have personal information on every other app I have, so I just have to finish the process, and then on the TikTok shop, I will most likely be listing jewelry pieces and smaller pieces like chibis, or maybe some potion bottles, things that are easily shipped, not necessarily sculptures. Sculptures are going to be in the Grove, and when I make it for the Badass Designers Coven, and on my website. That is the plan. But like chibis might be listed in the TikTok shop. They are easy to pack, and they are ready to ship, because apparently if you have a TikTok shop, you have to ship everything within 3 days. And in theory, for me, that's perfectly fine, but sometimes I get a little bit behind. And everybody that is in the Grove, thankfully, knows that. I try not to get behind, but sometimes it does. Like, I should have had my stuff from Friday shipped Monday or yesterday, but I took the past 2 days off. So I took Monday and Tuesday off. I didn't come downstairs, and it's Wednesday, so it's the beginning of my week now. But yes, so the TikTok shop is just like another responsibility, and there's also a couple of other newer creator websites. One is Tidu that I've kind of started but not have anything listed. I'm like 3/4 of the way registered, but I haven't finished that. So just all the different social media, it gets very overwhelming. I understand why people have social media managers. I really do. And if for some reason my stuff takes off and it becomes more steady as a source of income, I will definitely be hiring my husband or my brother-in-law as a social media manager to deal with all the different medias. Just like I would create, obviously, whatever it is I'm making, but make the initial video and just be like, here, share this everywhere. Also, Patreon, it's another platform I'm on, and I have made an effort to update my Patreon post for the past year, year and a half, my Patreon members have been in the Elven Grove, and they've just dealt with updates through the Grove because I had not touched the Patreon page, and now I have touched it. I am trying to do some updates for it. But yeah, God, it's a lot of things, and it makes it even more of a lot while I'm doing everything else. So it's a lot on a lot, and it gets very overwhelming, and I just get exhausted from doing all of the social media. So, I mean, and YouTube. That's another thing. I hadn't done YouTube videos for a while before at least I'm doing the updates right now. I mean, that's something. I haven't done any taste test. I haven't drunk tea in, it's gonna be just over a year now. And it makes me very angry at myself, but I know I haven't had the heart to do it. Not since Mom Carter passed. So I really want to start doing that, especially since it's starting to get cooler. And I know I said this the last winter, but I didn't. But it is something, and it's something I do for myself, and I like doing it. So we'll see how it goes. But that's about all I have for the update. I am kind of in a cleaning mess frenzy. I did a lot of organizing on Friday. I will say that. I did a lot of things getting organized on Friday, like deep cleaning stuff. It's still very overwhelming, especially back there and on the side. Have not touched that. And you can see that my banner fell. I need to use my mallet and hammer the pin back in place. But that's where I am right now. I'm going to pack stuff and write my thank you notes for everybody who adopted on Friday. And finish up the thank you charms that are in here. They're really cute. It makes me happy. It's like a tiny little rainbow in a basket. But yes, I do have another supply order coming in. I did not need to make it. I made it because I was depressed. I made it like the day after Zentara passed, and I was very depressed, and I was just like, click, and I bought stuff, so. But it is mostly creative stuff. So, I love you guys. Please stay happy, healthy, and safe. I'm very sorry for the super long video, but I hope you have a great week. Bye! Mwah.